So as cute as this little guy is, he definitely deserves his respect, because this is an animal that can definitely put a hurting on you and take the tip of your finger off, even at this size, just around a foot long. He's doing real good. As you can see, he is getting huge. Look at his belly. I was thinking about feeding him for this video today, but I fed him not too long ago, so he's been grown like nuts. And I'm taking a look at this cloaca, and we might actually have a female right here, which would be pretty interesting. I'm not changing the name because I still love the name Trigger, but we might have a female Cayman. Looks like a lot of my crocodilians are turning out to be female. We're gonna move on to some other animals, because today we have a huge announcement, but I'm not gonna tell you guys till we get to the snake house. What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to my wildlife. I'm currently hanging out with Trigger, my smooth front Cayman. And as you can see, he is getting really thick. This Cayman was a gift to me from my good friend Justin Igualda, also known as Vanilla Ice here on the channel. And this Cayman was actually just, I don't know, like 5 inches smaller, a little bit more underweight. He picked this guy up from an importer that we both are friends with, and he housed this Cayman with me for a couple months, and I eventually just asked if I could keep this Cayman because I fell in love with it, and he was nice enough to let me keep this beautiful smooth front Cayman. Been growing like crazy. We named him Trigger because the scientific name of a smooth front Cayman is Paleosuchus trigonatus, and my way of always remembering that scientific name is smooth as a trigger, so we named him Trigger because he's real snappy, and his scientific name kind of sounds like it. But he's doing real good. As you can see, he is getting huge. Look at his belly. I was thinking about feeding him for this video today, but I fed him not too long ago, so he's been grown like nuts. You can tell by the base of his tail, he's super healthy. He's got all these fat reserves in his tail, and his belly itself is definitely good size belly. And what's really interesting about the bellies of a smooth front Cayman compared to a lot of other crocodilian species is that the osteoderms, these hard solid bones, ride down the sides of the animal and actually go to the belly. He doesn't like it when I touch his belly, making their hide worth nothing to people who are trying to skin these animals and sell them for boots, bags, and belts. So the thing about smooth front Caymans, they're just so bony, their skin's worth basically nothing to these people. So other species that don't have so much armor going down the sides of their body, they end up falling victim to the leather trade. So it's real important to be nice and armored, not just for protection out in the wild, but also so you don't end up becoming somebody's belt. But the good thing is, he's an educational ambassador. He's here with us, and he's always going to be used for education, and he'll be living a nice, happy life here with us, getting fed regularly, right? Oh, he's just so happy. Look at him. No, but in reality, if I don't hold him properly and I make one little mistake, he will simply just come back in a split second and bite me on the hand, bite me in the arm, or bite me in the face. You do not want to make a mistake around a Cayman. Cayman versus alligator. Alligators will hiss. They'll sit there, they'll snap their jaws at you, but at the end of the day, they're trying to play that bluffing game. They want you to get away. Gator can still be dangerous. A Cayman doesn't really give you much of a warning. He's hissing a little bit right now, but for the most part, a Cayman will just sit there, act like nothing's wrong, and then in the last second, they'll bite you in the face and toss you around. There's actually a famous video of a black Cayman around 6 feet long letting a jaguar play with its tail for a little while. The Cayman stays completely still, and then the last second, that Cayman turned around, bit that jaguar on the face, and threw the jaguar in front of it, just to show how strong these animals are pound for pound versus any mammal. Crocodilians, when it comes to their bite force, when it comes to their ability to just muscle their way through any big water stream, it is insane to think what these animals can do. And I'm taking a look at this cloaca, and we might actually have a female right here, which would be pretty interesting. I'm not changing the name because I still love the name Trigger, but we might have a female Cayman. Looks like a lot of my crocodilians are turning out to be female. That's crazy. Molly thinks it's crazy too. She's here to say, what's up? What's going on, Molly? She's such a good guard mule. If anyone ever tries to mess with her crocodilians here, she'll run out and she'll rip their faces off. So she's a real good animal to have around. Guard dogs, they're just too common, too mainstream. We like guard mules. Isn't that right, Molly? She's walking off. She's gonna make another round, walk around the perimeter. All right, guys, we're gonna let little Trigger go back into his habitat. Let him be. We're gonna move on to some other animals, because today we have a huge announcement, but I'm not gonna tell you guys till we get to the snake house. Let me just lock this up, and I'll see you guys there. All right, beautiful people, we're inside the snake house now. This is actually where we keep Blue, my other smooth front Cayman, and Blue is actually my original smooth front Cayman that I had gotten when I first got my license. And here he is. Look how big he has gotten. He was so tiny when we first got him. He was just a cranky little gecko, and now he's going on over a foot long, just about. And it's pretty common for a Cayman like this to take a long time to grow. It's not a large species. The smooth front Cayman only gets to be 6 feet long for the males, and the females are just a bit under that. So for this guy to be this size at 1.5 years old, almost 2 years old, is actually real good for him. Proper growth rate for this animal, not being like a crocodile that's going to grow a crazy amount in such a small amount of time, like a saltwater crocodile or an American crocodile. That's going to be 5 feet in a matter of a couple years. Whereas this guy, it's going to take him many, many years to even get close to 5.5 feet long. He's got a lot of growing to do. He's a slow grower, but that's okay. He's a little good boy. Yeah. Definitely not a pet I would recommend to people. This is a Cayman species that's commonly found in the pet trade throughout America and a lot of the world. And it's because it's one of the dwarf Cayman species. We have the Cuvier's Dwarf Cayman, which is the smallest Cayman on the planet, only getting around 4 feet long. And then you got the smooth front Cayman, which only gets around 5.5, 6 feet long. So people think that since they're so small, they make such a great pet. In reality, they're not. This is an animal that's very defensive and has never been domesticated. It's not an animal meant to be somebody's pet. They don't enjoy hanging out with us. For the most part, they can be tolerant. You know, my crocodile Ziggy, she tolerates me. She understands that we have a good relationship. I'm not out there to hurt her, so she tolerates me handling her and touching her. But for the most part, these guys don't look for affection. They don't want to be cuddled. They want to mind their own business. They literally live to be secretive animals. These guys want nothing to do with people. If this guy could choose living in a leafy swamp in the undergrowth of the Amazon rainforest, then that's perfectly fine. He'd much rather be there, not hanging out with me on a couch watching TV. But for the most part, we use all of our animals for educational ambassadors or critically endangered breeding programs. So obviously in the future, this little guy is going to be on display for the public as an educational ambassador for Cayman species. And we're going to be breeding other cousins to this animal that are threatened by habitat destruction, illegal hunting, poaching the animals for their leather. So he's eventually going to be helping out with the awareness of all crocodilian species. So Blue, Trigger, Bridget, my broad snout, and even Ziggy the American crocodile. They're all great educational ambassadors, and that's why they're here. I don't want anyone to ever think that these animals are pets, because trust me, this is not a pet. When it bites you, it will remind you it's not a pet. So as cute as this little guy is, he definitely deserves his respect, because this is an animal that can definitely put a hurting on you and take the tip of your finger off, even at this size, just around 1 foot long. Look at him. Look at the beautiful scoots on that tail. So prehistoric looking. And look at this. He has the tip of his tail, and I guess it was never nipped off, so it's just had a very strange scoot right at the very tip of the tail that's almost like a little paddle. That's really cool. I haven't seen anything like that. Usually that would go to a fine tip, but for some reason he's got an extra scoot right on the tip of his tail. That's pretty cool. Just shows you that he's been doing pretty good, because other Cayman that are housed with each other, usually they'll be missing the tip of their tail or missing a couple toes, but as you can see, he's got every single toe on every single foot. He's just the perfect little smooth front Cayman. And as for the Dwarf Cayman I was talking about earlier, the Cuvier's Dwarf Cayman, that's a species we're definitely going to have to get in the future, the world's smallest crocodilian. But for now, we've got our little smooth fronts. I'm going to be putting this guy back because we have a very special message for you guys, and it's about time we tell you. Delicious. What is going on, my beautiful people? I've been trying to contain myself this whole video, but you know what? We finally hit 1.5 million subscribers, and we're here to celebrate. This is a lot of sugar. Guys, we're celebrating 1.5 million subscribers. Reach in my pocket. Reach in my pocket. Come on. Come on. Put it in my mouth. 1.5 million subscribers! Guys, I'm so excited. We finally hit 1.5 million subscribers. Did I think this was possible? Well, the more crazy things I started to do, I kind of realized it was potentially possible, but we actually did it. 1.5 million subscribers. This is crazy. 1.5. We're almost at 2 million subscribers. It felt like yesterday when I did a Kiss of Death with a king cobra just for 100K. And then we went and did a great white shark dive for 500,000 subscribers. And then we hit 1 million, and we're hanging out with Fred with Camp Cannon. And now we're at 1.5. I don't even know what to do. Kiss of Death on a black mamba? Nah. I'm not gonna do that. But suggest down below, what do you guys think we should do for the 1.5 million subscriber milestone? This is crazy. We have hit such a big number. It makes me so happy because literally this is all I've ever wanted to do. Just work with wildlife and present it to people like you around the world, educating and also trying to entertain, make people happy. This is all I've ever wanted to do, and you guys have helped make it possible. Thank you so much for joining the crew, for joining the Meatball Clan, for subscribing, for helping us out on Patreon, supporting our big dream of creating a facility for conservation of critically endangered crocs, snakes, lizards, turtles, tortoises. It's all in the name of conservation and having a good time. And I'm so excited that we finally made it to 1.5 million subscribers! Guys, I can't thank you enough. Seriously, this is what I've lived for my whole life. Working with wildlife, educating the public, and bringing it all to you. Bringing you up close with wildlife that I put myself in danger with. Educating you guys about all these different animals that have myths and legends around them saying, mambas will strike out, kill 3 cows in a row, king cobras will chase you down and bite you, a moccasin will run you down while you're ATVing in the swamps of Florida. Nonsense. We are here to educate, guys. We are here to bring awareness to species and bring all this attention to conservation groups around the world. This year was the first year that we were associating ourselves with a conservation group, the King Cobra Conservancy. That's a big step in the... Is your cake coming on my nose? That's a big step in the right direction. I want this channel to be used to entertain people, but also to cultivate, to bring people's attention to conservation efforts. And we were able to raise money this year to help fund projects back in India, Thailand, Borneo, helping wild king cobras. And hopefully, next year, we're actually gonna go out to India, work with the King Cobra Conservancy, and potentially capture a wild king cobra and put a tracker on it and then track it for a while. There's big news to come, guys. I am so happy. I can't thank you guys enough. Ruth, thank you for sticking with me this whole time, helping me get these videos out. Guys, we are so excited for the future. 2021, Chandler's Wild World will be opening. We'll be getting the property, but Chandler's Wild World is happening 2021. Big crocodiles, walking king cobra enclosures. Now, one more thing before we end this video. I know it's a lot. It's hard to give a speech after smashing my face into a bunch of cake. But I got one more thing. Where is it? Stay right there. Ruth, it's a little messed up, but this cake I actually got for you, for the great job you've been, for the great job that you've been doing for this company. Thank you so much for staying with us. Ruth, this is for you. Psych! Nobody gets cake! 1.5 million subscribers! 'Tis the season to be jolly. 1.5 million subscribers. Alright, I think we gotta end this video and clean up this place. There's cake everywhere. Guys, 1.5 million subscribers. Thank you so much for supporting us. I freaking love you guys. I can't wait to personally walk you guys through my facility and give you guys those private tours myself. Stay beautiful, stay safe, but most of all, stay gangster.